Hello, everyone, once more. This is Megan. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queen. For all of my returning subscribers, if this is your first time joining me on today, hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. And this is my second free reading that I chose to do a video for, okay? And this is going to be for someone who I am going to call Rosebud, okay? Now, thank you, Miss Rosebud, for your entry, for your submission. So, all right, Rosebud letter reads. Hello, Megan. First, I want to congratulate you on the growth of your channel. Thank you. Your work speaks for itself. I am requesting a free reading because you offered one to all of your subscribers who made it to the end of Tommy's video. Just the first five. I should have specified that, but I'll do it next time. For the record, I watch all of your videos that you post to the very end. Thank you. Now to my question. But let me give you a brief background. The one thing that I ask is that you don't hold anything back, girl. You know I won't. I know I have some fucked up ways about myself, but only when it's warranted. I'm far from innocent, but I know I have a kind heart, which can go black on you if I have an inkling of you doing me dirty. Shit. With that said, my 18-year-old daughter and I have always butt heads since she was a little girl. I don't know what it is, but I never had a connection with her from birth. It saddens me to this day. It's like I gave birth to a Judas or a secret enemy. Fast forward, we had a big blow up back in May where she moved out to live with her father. His main agenda was to have the child support lowered or cut off. When we went to court 2 weeks ago, I just requested that they cut the shit off. I was done. But the kicker was he had her miss school to come to court to either speak on his behalf or against me. I'm not sure. I don't know what she said. Since the 17th, I have been feeling betrayed, or I've been feeling a feeling of betrayal. I don't trust her, and I never have. I'm at a point where she has been reaching out, and I won't talk to her. I'm hurt and I feel like I have to protect myself. My question to you is, have I lost my daughter due to her father's manipulation over her? Will we ever have a healthy mother-daughter relationship in the future? Did I give birth to my enemy or am I tripping? Again, I know I can be over the top, but I promise you how I am today is PTSD from all of the betrayal and hurt I have experienced in the past. I know this was long, but I wanted for you to get an understanding of the entire situation in the shortest way I can tell you. Now, I appreciate that, Rosebud, because, yeah, and it seems like I'm really resonating with the mother-daughter dynamics, especially, you know, because I did my first free reading on, like, a contentious situation with the mother. So, yeah, this is kind of going to be, like, the theme, I guess, of the day. But I would love to help you clear up some things because I saw a few interesting things. All right. So I'm going to pull up your chart. All right. And I'm going to make a few observations as it pertains to your daughter's chart. And we just going to do it like that. All right. So the first thing that I noticed, Miss Rosebud, because you were born May 27, 1978 at 11:39 a.m. All right. In New York. That makes you a Gemini sun, Aquarius moon. And in a Leo ascendant. And once again, I always say that Leo energy definitely brings a lot of karmically induced situations with children. And even more so, your Saturn is conjoined to your Leo ascendant. Saturn in Leo creates hard lessons with men and children. And this is very common, like I said, very common with lots of Leo placements, but especially here. And given the fact that this conjunction is happening in your 12th house. And the 12th house is the house of losses and hidden enemies. So this stems from a karmic debt that has to be paid. All right. And there is going to be a need to decrystallize your heart, which is why in this lifetime, you experience a lot of painful separations. And I know you said that this is PTSD from how you were treated and a lot of betrayals, that all of that is right in line with that Saturn and Leo, especially as it pertains to men. This could have gone back to the father, issues with the father, you experiencing, like I said, painful separations and issues of loss and even betrayal where you feel like, because Leo is all about loyalty, where you feel like either your loyalty is being tested or where other people have failed to be loyal to you. And a lot of these people are going to be men, and unfortunately your child. But the challenge for this placement is to strengthen your ego without feeling the need to overcompensate, because I feel like that's what you do. I feel like because you're so cold, and I mean, you kind of admitted it too, because you said this is PTSD, this is why I am the way I am. I know I could be over the top. And there's a need for you to actually allow yourself to become vulnerable and release a lot of that baggage, which is, I know, way easier said than done, but we just allow me to finish. So your Mars is actually conjoined to your Saturn as well. You have a lot of Leo placements. So this is very heavy karmic energy with your daughter. And this absolutely deals with you feeling defensive towards her, because Mars is the planet of war, right? It's the planet of aggression, of defense, of how you protect yourself. So it can deal with you feeling like she's the enemy. Once again, placed in the 12th house of losses and hidden enemies. Mars and Leo can also result in a lot of conflict and pain surrounding children and men. It could also deal with your ex-husband resorting to childish antics in order to get the upper hand. It deals with you guys being very competitive, so almost like you guys competing over your daughter's heart. And I mean, this could deal with you being childish as well, but you admit it, you got your ways about you. And this could also point towards having a husband who has a lot of pride and ego. All right. Mars and Leo, as it pertains to you, and I see several indicators of this in your chart and your daughter's chart. You can be pushy. You can be bossy. Okay. You can be domineering, specifically domineering. So, that's just, and your Mars is 1 degree off from the fixed star Merak. Okay. Which deals with you being very vengeful when aroused. But it can also deal with your ex-spouse being very vengeful and vindictive, which we know that's the case. Now, your Mars is squaring your Uranus, which reinforces you having a manipulative husband. It could also point towards that potential disloyalty or betrayal that you feel by way of your daughter. It also deals with that emotional detachment from a child as well, that Uranus energy, especially with you being Aquarius moon. Gemini in and of itself, you have that's both of those are air. You have mutable air, fixed air. So it's like, it's all about, being logical. It's all about, expressiveness and really thinking things through and keeping things light and detached, but not so much emotionally available, not so much emotionally there. So that could absolutely impact the way your daughter sees you and the way that you raise her. You know what I'm saying? The type of nurturing energy that you have to give. That nurturing energy isn't really there with Aquarius moons. Not to say that you don't love her, but I know you said you felt detached. And this has nothing to do with me, but I thought I would, to further illustrate my point, I have Aquarius in my 5th house. And as much as I love my daughter, it took me a long time to feel connected after I gave birth. I didn't feel much, and the 5th house deals with children. So, you see what I'm saying? It can produce that feeling of detachment, because you said you kind of felt like this from birth since you gave birth to her. Another indicator of, this deceptive kind of energy is the fact that you have Pisces in the 7th house. The 7th house deals with marriage, but it also deals with legalities, court, right? So it can deal with you having losses, taking losses in the legal system. And with Neptune in your 4th house, this is definitely like family court. You losing in family court. Also, with Pisces bleeding over into your 8th house, that reinforces this karmic, very intense relationship with family, sorrow by way of a child. And also that Pisces in the 7th house definitely reinforces you attracting a liar, like dealing with a man or a husband or an ex-spouse who's a liar. You know what I mean? And with Aquarius also bleeding over into your 7th house, that further reinforces this thing of detachment. But Aquarius also deals with disloyalty. You having a partner who is disloyal, who just, straight up turns on you. So all of that is very indicative of your situation. Your moon is opposing your Mars, which further reinforces this combative relationship with your child, as well as feelings of coldness, detachment, and like I said, that disloyalty. And your moon is at the 16th degree, and that number 16 deals with tragedy. Okay, so that's something to think about. Now, the reason why I feel like a lot of this is, or as far as the dynamic between the relationship between you and your daughter before the court thing even came to pass, I feel like you are a strict mother. And I say this because you have Capricorn in your 5th house. Okay. And that's strict all day long. You can be a very traditional mother, and I know you are big on punishment. You can definitely be the punisher or the disciplinarian. Let's put it like that. I feel like you are definitely the disciplinarian in the equation, and this is further reinforced with me pulling up your daughter's chart. So let me get that together, because she was born on March 31st, 2001 at 9:04 p.m. in New York as well. And she's something else. She's an Aries sun, Cancer moon, Scorpio ascendant. So right there, it's a whole lot of going on. And one of the first things that I noticed about her chart is your daughter's sun. All right, because she's at the 11th degree of Aries, her sun is placed in your 8th house. Okay, which deals with karmic relationships, love-hate relationships, and one filled with lots of combativeness and tension. I know y'all have flaring tempers on both sides. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure she's a hot tamale. Okay, and she get it from her mama. Now, her 8th house, she has her Cancer moon placed in her 8th house, which is conjoined to her North node, further reinforcing her having karmic issues with you and her family, and just family issues in general. Her sun is squaring her moon. That's that battle between you and your ex-spouse, putting her in the middle of this, her having this battle between the mother and the father. It could also, in the long term, impact the way that she looks at relationships. She's going to struggle to integrate both parts of herself. So she's going through it, even though she might not know how to express it in the best way. And I also noticed her sun is conjoined to her Venus in her 5th house. The sun is the father. She loves her father. And in the 5th house, this could be, while you're more of the disciplinarian, I feel like she's the apple of his eye, right? She can even view him as like a friend, or like she really loves him like that. She has a very deep, passionate love for him. And to the point where it's like, my father is the love of my life. I'm a daddy's girl is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like that's what it is. And I know, based off of what's going on in your chart, that kind of does bother you. Even before the court case, I know that bothered you. It's okay. We human. And with your Venus conjoined to your Jupiter in Cancer, this deals with you being very sensitive too. But another pitfall of this, or a negative manifestation of this, is you could even be the type to use emotional blackmail. So while I do want to make it very clear, I do believe that your ex-spouse or your ex-husband, your ex-partner definitely manipulated certain things in his favor. I also think it's two-sided. So I also feel like you guys are both very competitive, and I feel like you are also very, I don't want to say jealous, but like I said, with this Venus conjoined to Jupiter in Cancer, like, you have a tendency to, like I said, emotionally blackmail people when things don't go your way. That's exactly why you don't want to talk to your daughter. And don't do that. Don't do that. And I feel like that's only going to make the issue worse, because at the end of the day, you're still the parent. You know what I mean? And you're putting extra pressure on her that doesn't really need to be there. And I understand that I know y'all had a very explosive relationship before the court case, but you handling it in this fashion isn't going to help anything. It's going to make it worse. And with you having all this Leo energy, especially Saturn in Leo, you're very prideful. Okay. And a lot of it stems, like you said, from you trying to overcompensate from past grievances and blows to your ego. When it comes to your child, it shouldn't be about that. And I know it's easier said than done, and I'm not passing any type of judgment. But It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that to the side. So yeah, her moon is squaring her Venus. So yeah, it's definitely very hard for y'all to live together. Her Venus is in what is it, the 8th degree of Aries, I want to say. Yeah, I know it's very difficult for y'all to live together. Y'all probably even came to blows, like straight up fighting, or just like I said, a lot of confrontation here, a lot of confrontation. And to further reinforce my point, her moon is opposing her Chiron. Her Chiron's at the 28th degree of Sagittarius. That's the energetic degree again, dealing with family, but it also deals with her feeling like she's in the middle. That's that energetic degree, feeling in the middle of family shit, feeling in the middle, feeling at odds, feeling put against you. So I don't, like I said, to what degree that this is like her father's doing or whatever. I don't know. And like I said, I am inclined to believe by certain things in your chart, he could be full of shit. He might be full of shit. And I think both of y'all are like that, especially with your Mars in Leo. Like, both of y'all are very competitive and prideful and childish and petty. So I'm not putting that above him, but you got to think about what it's doing to her. Okay. And with her Chiron in her second house of Sagittarius, there's also this thing of her wanting to be very free. And I feel like I said before, I think she feels very like smothered when she's around you or living in the household with you, whether it be you aren't giving her the freedom she needs. Maybe her dad is like a little bit more hands off and whatever. You know how men are in general. But like I said, with him, that Sun conjoined the Venus in her 5th house could point towards that. So, yeah. But also that 28th degree or the energetic degree, with her moon opposed to that, could deal with a third party influence. So her kind of being coerced or pushed into a certain mode of thought when it comes to being at odds with you, which is fucked up. But once again, you getting in your feelings and pushing her away isn't going to help that. It actually might make things work out in his favor more, especially if that's his end goal, is for her to choose him over you, right? So you acting in that way is going to make kind of her be like, well, damn, you right. My mama is this and my mama is that. Now, ultimately, with her being a Cancer North Node, or a Capricorn South Node, she does come from, or she is going to have a lot of issues with really embracing family in this lifetime. You know, that's that Capricorn or that Cancer North Node is all about having family issues. However, I feel like, especially when she gets older, it could be a situation where things might be, you guys could come and like to an agreement or make amends. You know what I'm saying? Especially with that Capricorn energy, like maybe after or nearing her first Saturn return when she's like in her mid-20s, late 20s. And I'm not saying things are going to be terrible like your whole life, her whole life, but I can't tell you what's not going to work. And that's what you're doing. That's not going to work. And to further bolster my point once more, looking at her chart, her 10th house, the 10th house deals with the mother, okay? Is in Leo, which makes sense because you're a Leo. So that could deal with her viewing you as bossy, tyrant, over the top. But then also Virgo takes up a significant amount of her 10th house. And that deals with her that reinforces her viewing you as somebody who's very controlling. So like I said, doing what you're doing now I know it's hard. And I feel like, honestly, you have a lot of issues that you need to work on that has nothing to do with your daughter. And once again, I know it's easier said than done, but I think those issues need to be addressed because it's causing you to overcompensate and it's skewing your ability to handle this in a pragmatic way. You can't control what your ex does. You can't even control what your daughter does, but you can control what you do. And I guarantee when she gets older, she's going to come around. Okay? So, and I mean, I understand it's going to be a karmic, lifelong relationship. So I'm not about to sit up here and promise that y'all relationship is going to be a bed of roses and y'all going to walk together hand in hand up and down the street. But I am saying that it can get better, okay? And you just have to do your part. So, yeah. I hope you found this helpful, Ms. Rosebud, and I am really sorry for y'all situation, because I know that has to be a terrible feeling. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and yeah, I wish you nothing but the best. And for everyone else, make sure you guys practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And as always, until the next video, I holla.